Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports Radio Station, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes, TuneIn. I'm trying to do two things at the same time. Getting my very special guest in. We have different studio addresses, I think, but just sending that off to her. iHeartRadio, Spotify, TuneIn, iTunes, Amazon Music, Tiki Live, Rumble, Podchaser, Spreaker, Streaker, and more. Why so many places? Because I want to maximize my splatter zone for more hope and happiness. So there's no gossip, no scandal, and no K words, no Kardashian talk, Kanye talk, P. Diddy talk, anything that you hear in the headlines, you're not going to hear here. Why? Because I want to balance out all the bad news that make you say, what's wrong with people? With some good news and good guests and good, wonderful, incredible people who are not just celebrities, but they are my friends, and they are honoring me for my 13th year to come and celebrate. And I just want to make sure she is coming on. So bear with me here. Okay. So just come in. And I'll be talking. So 13 years, 678 consecutive years. Unbelievable. They said I wouldn't last 1 year because I'm like the feel-good segment in every TV show that is elongated into the entire hour show. And I'm so blessed that instead of a year, it's been 13 years. And I've had a myriad of great past guests come on and come and celebrate this 13th year with me. We started with Lucille Ball's daughter, Lucy Arnez, Chris Wark, who beat cancer with a vegan diet, as well as entering the new link. Okay, awesome. So it's my bad on this one if I sent her the wrong link. So she'll be here momentarily. After Chris Wark, I put Nellie from Little House on the Prairie on to celebrate. You heard her on Tuesday Talent, and she is having me on her show. You'll remember her role as the Nasty Nellie on Little House on the Prairie. So today, and then yesterday we had Doctors in the House, and last week we had a little roast with my co-hosts, and today I am so delighted to bring to you someone that you'll know from so many different places. And one of the best things about the show is that not only do I have guests that are friends, I have friends who become guests and vice versa, and so honored to have someone come celebrate me. She was on my show 8 years ago, and then 3 years ago, and now to celebrate my 13th year on the air, on camera. Laila Ali, daughter of the late beloved global icon and humanitarian Muhammad Ali. Laila leads with the light of his legacy as four-time undefeated boxing world champion, whose record includes 24 wins, 21 of which were knockouts, and 0 losses. She applies a champion mindset to everything she does, being mom to Curtis Jr. and Sydney and doggies, a wife to NFL star Curtis Conway, fitness and wellness advocate, a television host, an author, and home chef. And you may remember her from being inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame, killing Dancing with the Stars, winning Chopped not once but twice. You've seen her in Olympic commentating. First year boxing was included on the series on Oprah Channel, and so much more. And you heard in my second interview with her 3 years ago, she shares her passion for health, purpose, and mindset to help herself and all of us become the best version of ourselves. I can't think of a better guest to come and celebrate my 13th year on the air, on camera, than Laila Ali.
Hi there.
Hey, darling.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Shisha.
I mean, 13 years is a lot of time, a lot of talking, right? And I'm sure a lot of growing, yourself and your audience. And thank you so much for all the amazing talks and content that you have created over the years. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. I'm gonna give it up. It's not every day you get complimented by Laila Ali.
You just have an infectious spirit, that shines so bright. And I think that's probably one of the reasons why you have been on air that long, because that's what we need now more than ever. So thank you.
Thank you. 678 consecutive weeks. And after you were on last time, I started a little good life habit, #Blisscipline. You know that word I get from our big brother, Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith. So I start with breakfast with my guest. So I don't tell you ahead of time, so to keep it fun. But the top of the bun, we take a bite of our gratitude sandwich. Top of the bun, things we're grateful for outside of ourselves. Bottom of the bun, what we do before bed tonight. What are we grateful for inside of ourselves? So what do we appreciate about ourselves? That way we're not looking for likes in all the wrong places, literally, but we know how great we are most of the time. I say I'm 88% fabulous, and 12% of the time I step in it. So that's the kind of self-care and self-love that underlies good mental health. So let's start. What are you grateful for, Laila Ali, outside of yourself?
Oh man, you said, well, I'm grateful just for having my health. Waking up, having energy, waking up, having a clear mind, grateful. Some of us have a lot to be grateful for, and we're not even grateful for it. So just to be able to feel grateful and think how many things I can mention, right? And none of them are material things, right? So definitely my health comes first, because if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. Anything that seems like a big deal, that's stress or drama in your life or things you wish you could change, like as soon as someone finds out they have a disease or they're sick or their life is on the line, nothing else matters but trying to get healthy, right? So having your health is something you should absolutely have gratitude for.
Absolutely. I'm going to go to basics for me this morning. Dry shampoo. And that Java mug of that first sip of coffee. There's something about just that first sip that I just love. Let's go to the bottom of the bun. I was taught you're not all that. Don't toot your own horn. Who do you think you are? And as a result, I looked for love in all the wrong places. And as Laila mentioned, through the years now, 13 years, certainly one of the best things that people can do is learn to love themselves. I don't know any other tool that is stronger and more life-changing than the ability to care only what you think about yourself and less about what other people think of you. Not that you think you're all that, excuse me, but that you come to that balance place. So I appreciate that I have had the mouthpiece to continue to speak not so much my mind, but my heart. And that we don't talk about headlines here. You can go everywhere else for those. We talk about heartlines here and how to be happy 88% of the time. So I appreciate my ability to continue that resilience, and we'll catch up she asked me what topic, and I thought about it. And I thought, you know what, I love catching up with you because we don't get to spend a lot. It's ever since you moved, to catch up, and I read stuff about you, but I would love to just like we're having, breakfast together, literally for the whole show. So we'll talk more about some momentous things that have happened to me and you. So I'll just say that I have the no fear middle name, whatever it is. I'll do that. Now, what was it you wanted? That's what I like about myself. What do you like about yourself?
Oh man, what I like about myself? Let's just see what pops in my head first, because there's lots of things I could say. I would say that I like that I'm very direct. That when I say something, that's what I mean. And I appreciate that. I'm just that way naturally, but unfortunately, a lot of people are not. And it can be for lots of different reasons, not because they have bad intentions, but some people just aren't comfortable saying what they feel for whatever reason. Like you mentioned growing up, how you were taught certain things, so it made you respond or not respond in a certain way. I've always been very confident. I have boundaries in place, and I say what I mean. And I would appreciate if more people did that, because I think there'd be less confusion if people were just upfront in the beginning with who they are, what their expectations are, what their non-negotiables are, and we can forget all the riffraff and get down to it. Are we a good fit or not? Okay. So I mean that professionally, I mean that personally, I mean that all those things, right? So I just wish more people were like that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, there's just so much to talk about, and I know you have to take care of your baby dog. So we'll end breakfast. We usually go a little bit longer, but we'll end breakfast now formally, because I want to just pitch 28 consecutive days. That's all it takes to make this a good life habit. I hope that you start with me. You don't have to start with me every weekday morning. And if you free subscribe on my YouTube TV channel, you'll get an alert every weekday morning at 9, right after the NBC News, to do this little good life exercise, because I want you to sandwich your day in the most positive way. Thanks for joining us for breakfast. And now for the topic of the day. It says everything is awesome. I won it at Dave & Buster's. The topic of the day is the best you. And we're going to get all kinds of stuff from my very beautiful inside and out guest, Laila Ali, who will share some of not just her brand, but how she lives her life. And we're going to do catch up too, as far as the last 3 years and what's been going on in our lives. And that's the show. So I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for tuning in to take my advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show. So what's going on? You moved, last time we talked, you had moved already, and we were talking about the differences in Atlanta, right? That's where you are. And your kids, OMG, every time you put them on social, the real Laila Ali on Instagram, Laila Ali everywhere else, what's going on? They're adjusting, the schools, all of that.
Well, I don't even know where to start. So I moved to Georgia. I'm outside of the city of Atlanta, from California, where I lived pretty much all my life. And it was a big change, obviously being in the South. Not only is the environment different in terms of, all this beautiful greenery and humidity, the change of the seasons, people are different as well. It's a lot more family oriented. Different personalities, different focus, when you meet people, different questions they ask. In LA, it was always, what do you do? Here, nobody asks that. It's interesting, yeah. So it's very different, a difference that I like. I love it as an environment to raise children, opposed to being in California. My kids have adjusted really well. You get so much more for your money here too. I mean, that part is like, I always knew that, but when you actually move, you're like, why didn't I do this sooner? So I have a lot of land. I have an organic garden. that I'm able to, grow my fruits and vegetables. And that's kind of like my hobby, right, thing that I'm just learning as I go. It's a lot of work though. I'm like, ooh, what was I thinking making a big old garden? Nobody's helping me. The family's like, so it's just me. But the kids, we were homeschooling when we were in California. So that was a big change just to go into school here. And public school has taught them a lot, about who they are as people. So that's been a fun adjustment. My son is 16 now. He just started driving, has a car. So I'm going through that. Any parent would sympathize with me on that. Just the fear of them being on the road by themselves as a teenager. And, this is a whole new thing. And then starting to just kind of adjust to the fact that he'll be 18, moving out of the house soon to go to college. And, like, what else do I need to teach him to get him ready for this crazy world, kind of thing. So,
well, you've already done that. I mean, just
exactly.
watching what you are doing and how you're doing it and who you're doing it with, that's you've done a great job, because they really do look.
They've absolutely learned by example, but you're always just like, okay, what else? Like now it's like that. Make sure the to-do list of the kids. My daughter is 14, so you already imagine I got a teenager. Girls are, how we are. So a lot of very different, with the hormonal changes and everything. But I'm pleasantly surprised that it's going easier than I thought it would be, So I think that that's good. So, but yeah, everything's good. I'm really happy here. The main thing professionally is I took time away from TV. Because in California before COVID hit, I was doing a show called Homemade Simple on the Oprah Winfrey Network, and we literally went into people's homes. So right when COVID happened, of course, we couldn't do that anymore. So that show went away, and just a lot of going on, right? A lot of changes happening in terms of in the TV world and what was required of you to be able to work. And I decided, I'm going to take a break. So I moved to Georgia, thinking I might not do TV anymore, because a lot of TV was in LA. I wasn't going to be going back and forth necessarily. So, but I just signed on to do another show. I can't talk about it too much, but it'll be coming out this year, third quarter, and it's in the food space. So that'll be lots of fun for me, because that's my passion, healthy cooking.
It is. It's always fun watching you cook on social with all of your beautiful seasonings and everything. And it inspires me whenever I do the rare cooking thing I do. I always say, I just saw my friend Laila doing her cooking thing, so I got to pop one on with my ancient secret Chinese fried rice. But that's great. And I can't imagine you not on camera. You're definitely not the radio. You have a face for radio person. You have a face for television, and I'm glad that you're going to be back on, because you cannot. You're made this way. And something that we talked about last time is, owning the best that we are. I think that we play small sometimes. You and I don't play small. We learn how not to play small, I think. You through your example, or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you did play small and then something happened. Is that a part of the story? I can't imagine it, but I think that there's some people have this. Was it Michael or someone said, wherever you are adding to life and adding to the world. Whether you are a flower blooming at the bottom of a mountain where everybody can see it, or you're at the top of the mountain, no one's there, but you're still adding through your spirit and your one-of-a-kind, wonderful, unique gifts, talents, and abilities, right? So if you understand that and know that you felt like you want to be in front of a camera or in front of a microphone or on a podcast, do it, right? Don't let anyone tell you can't do that. But did you always know that you, as the youngest daughter of Muhammad Ali, would have a place in front? Because your dad was definitely...
Yeah. He's a man. That's a whole nother level. So for me, I never wanted to be a recognizable person. That was one of the things that held me back when I first decided I wanted to box. Not because the pressure and all that, just like, oh man, this is going to make me a recognizable person. And I grew up with that, having to deal with no privacy. So for me, because I'm the type of person who wants to go to the grocery store, who wants to go pick up my own dry things, and I'm fine doing it. But when people see you and they're not used to it, they're kind of like, "What are you doing here?" And it kind of disrupts your. I'm not working right now. I'm like living my private life. So you just have to know and find that balance. And when I realized, after boxing, when it came to TV, I never was like, "Oh, I just want to be on TV." I wanted to build my brand. I wanted to build Laila Ali lifestyle. I wanted to do my cookbook and come out with my spice blends and inspire people to live a healthier lifestyle, because so many people have heart disease, diabetes, obesity, all the chronic illnesses directly related to our lifestyle choices, and we can control that. So for me, I'm like, okay, as an entrepreneur, how can I have a business doing what I'm passionate doing, cooking, right? We try to find something doesn't feel like work, creating delicious meals and merging it with the healthy lifestyle portion. So being on TV helps give me a platform to be able to do that. So I saw it as an integral part of something that I needed to do, whether I wanted to do it or not, right? So it kind of just fit. But no, I'm not like, I'm not like, oh, I can't wait to go be seen. Like, that's kind of like part of it. Like, if I could just do voiceover work, I would love that. But that's not what I do.
Well, I mean, you're gorgeous. I love this picture in particular. You on Dancing with the Stars. This is an older picture because they're grown
Yes, I need
now.
yes.
Yeah.
I need to update that. My son is taller than me and my husband.
No way.
Dude,
Wow.
probably about up to here. She's about 5'8".
Wow.
I'm
Well,
5'11". Oh, and I created a discount code for you, for your audience. If anyone wants to visit, especially for Mother's Day, I have my spice blends. I have, if anyone just wants a signed book or signed boxing paraphernalia or my kitchen candles, whatever the case may be, you can get 20% off your order, not that 10% that pops up, 20% with using code Marissa15. I'm sorry, 15.
oh,
20%. I meant to say 15%. So it's 5% more than you would just get if you're just coming to my site. So Marissa15 for 15% off your entire order on
wow.
LailaAli.com.
Awesome. I have a promo code. That's great. Yeah. So this is how you find her. She's got everything here, spices, everything. I will say my Asian Oprah giveaway is the 15% off, Marissa 15, and that way, yeah, this is your Mother's Day gift.
Go up to that menu bar that says shop.
Yeah.
Shop spice. Go to spice blends. Where is it? Yep, that. Just so they can see. Scroll down. So those are the spice blends. Those are my babies. So the spice blends are organic, non-GMO. They're created to mix and match and layer. So there's just different combinations you can make I usually cook with 3 or more, but you want to layer them because I created the ingredients so that they can layer well together, and they're low in salt or no salt, and then you can come back and add salt. So the power is in your hands. A lot of people are trying to eat less sodium, although healthy sea salt is actually good for us. We need it. It's different than what's in the commercial brands where they're using herbicides and pesticides and refined bleach salt, and then who knows what else, genetically modified ingredients. So, you don't want to be sprinkling poison on your food every day if you're a home cook. So if not mine, to support a brand that's organic and is made with ingredients that you can actually pronounce. Because if you look on the back of many containers in the commercial brands, there's all these chemicals, and you're like, what is this that I'm putting on my food? So yeah, so check it out. And Marissa 15.
I love the names. The Garlic Goddess Seasoning Blend, the GOAT Seasoning Blend. I love it, love it, love it. So yeah, this is also connected to my show guest on Monday, Chris Wark. He beat cancer. He's now 21 years cancer-free with a vegan diet, no chemo, no radiology. So we're aligned. We can use that. Pardon? Chris Wark. WARK.
Does he have a page like Chris Beat Cancer or something?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I've
Yes.
seen him. I think I actually follow him
Oh,
on.
good. He'll love that. He
Yeah.
was excited that you were coming on here. So yeah, he was my guest 10 years ago, I believe, and came on to celebrate. Nellie from Little House on the Prairie was on my very first year. She came on to celebrate. So I have a whole. You're bringing up. You're the heavy hitter. You're the headliner at the very end. Absolutely. So I um I don't know if you saw. Guess what I'm doing lately? Stand up comedy.
Oh, you mentioned that once before vaguely, and I can totally imagine it because you're funny. And I think was that on your bucket list or something, and you finally are doing it. So how's that going?
It's a bathtub list because it's bigger than a bucket. I was on stage at Yuck Yucks where Jim Carrey and Howie Mandel got their start. So that was cool in Toronto.
And
And
how did it go? Did you get the response from the audience you wanted, or were you kind of like, okay, I need to work on this some more? Like, what? How'd it go?
it was my 11th time on stage. I was actually in a comedy competition with 40 other comics, not at Yuck Yucks, but before that. And I was first runner up. And
Oh,
then I think the fact that I have been a motivational speaker for 30 years certainly helps, right? With that stage stuff. The hardest thing for me is to keep it at 5 minutes. Okay, I love to talk. I got an hour show. I get on stage and do 2 hours. 5 freaking minutes? I have 1 minute left. They give you the light. I'm like, ugh. But the good news is the host manager of the Yuck Yuck said, anytime you're back in Toronto, let us know. You'll be on the list.
I
So
love it. I would love to
yeah,
see a clip to see what your style is.
yeah.
So,
Well, I'm working out the kinks on what is it exactly that I want to communicate. Like I'm a motivational speaker that's funny. Now I want to be a stand-up who does a little motivation. So we're working on that. But I'm on stage twice today, this evening at the Fourth Wall in
oh, nice.
Hollywood. So we'll
Oh,
see what
fun.
happens. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So, people want to know what you do for skincare because you are hashtag ageless, like I am. And so that's one question. And then the other question uh, is there, and this is one of those people who have famous parents, okay, or someone like, do you ever wish that you could just be recognized by who you are without being the daughter of Muhammad Ali? So those are the two questions that came before the show.
So let me answer the second question first. I really haven't had an issue being connected to my dad. Like, I think that it's obvious why people would ask that question. I think that because I'm aware of the love that people have for my father and all the sacrifices he made to become one of the most beloved men in the world, I have so much respect for that and I understand that. And I never would compare myself in terms of, being an athlete, celebrity, recognized person, whatever. He would always be there. Okay. So aside from that, you could still say, well, but what about you? I have achieved a lot outside of my father, and I'm very comfortable and I have a strong foundation in that. So I don't have any issues there where I feel like I had to live up to something. Luckily, I had so much wisdom at a young age. When I started boxing, I knew going in, okay, this is what I'm going to have to deal with. I'm going to have to deal with being compared to my father. I'm going to have to deal with people telling me I'm too pretty to box. I'm going to have to deal with why do you want to do it? I'm going to have to deal with so many things. The pressure. I'm going to have to deal with fighters trying to fight me harder because they got to make a name off of my name. Do I want to do this? Yes. How am I going to go into the public and not allow them to try to turn me into my father? My father, if anyone knows, was famous for the rope-a-dope, and where that was when he would let his opponent tire themselves out by hitting him, and then he would come back and reserve his energy. He used to call that rope-a-dope. Then he used to call out rounds. He was famous for that, saying he was going to knock somebody out in the fifth round, and then he would do it. First of all, that takes a lot to be able to say exactly when you're going to do something. there was no way as a young fighter just coming into to boxing, didn't have the amateur background experience my father had, that I was going to be able to call out rounds and put that kind of pressure on myself. So I say all that to say, the press will say, hey, are you going to do the rope-a-dope? Are you going to call out rounds? I said, no, I'm not Muhammad Ali, I'm Laila Ali. So I'm very proud of myself that I was able to come and say, I'm actually not Muslim, my father's Muslim, and I still have to make that distinction now sometimes with fans. And I'm like, I'm not Muslim. I was able to say that and still be respectful of my father because he put so much on the line for his religion, right? When he got his title stripped away because he wouldn't go to the Vietnam War, all this history people don't realize. So I am so proud to be his daughter, and I'm also proud of my own accomplishments. So there's no way you can just mention my dad and not also point out the fact that, man, you didn't only do good in boxing, you've also been able to go on Dance with the Stars and win. You're also going to go on Chopped and win. You also have your own business. You're also a married mom with children, and you've got so many things. Your life seems so full. None of that is because I woke up and was like, my dad's Muhammad Ali. What can that do for me today? It was because of the things that I put in place for myself, the hard work, the dedication, the praying, the faith, the facing all of the things along the way that I needed to adjust and pivot to reinvent myself after I got out of the ring and started going back to being an entrepreneur. So that was a long-winded answer, but I really am proud of both of us, and second, about skin, I have to say that question is one of the reasons I started Laila Ali Skincare, which I no longer have, but okay. I know, I'll go into that, but because on my shop, at one point I had nutrition products, I had skincare. But with the skincare, there's just so much competition, and that's not really my space. I'm depending on others to create a product for me, whereas with my Spice Blends, I literally created them myself. So I was like, let me just focus on what my lane, right? So my skin, I naturally have good skin, right? Clear skin. Not a lot of pores, all of that. And I think it comes from that I eat pretty healthy. I sweat a lot. I drink water. I take my supplements. But as I've gotten older, okay, because I'm 47, most people would think I'm younger than I am. I'm 47, and I started going, oh, I see jowls coming. I'm just seeing my skin lowering. So what I started doing was getting in my infrared sauna. Everybody doesn't have that. I have one, but you can go get in one. I'm just telling you because you asked, okay? You apply whatever you want. I use the infrared sauna. I think that helps. I use red light therapy. I think that helps. You can get little red light therapy, units. Those are just the woohoo stuff, right? High level. But I also have, what is that little tool called the Asians use? Is it a geisha? A tool, like it's flat and you use it on your skin.
That's okay. Beyond that.
Okay, well I'll have to look that up while we're talking. But that has really made a difference. I'm talking about in terms of skin tightening, lifting, all that. But you got to do it literally 3 times a week. So I'll kind of do it while I'm sitting in front of my red light therapy, and have my little process down. And it helps with puffiness. It helps with all of that. So I'm gonna look up what that tool is, just because I shouldn't have expected you to know
just because I'm Asian. Well, well, it's funny when I asked Priscilla Presley what her beauty secret was. She said good lighting, which I thought was very cute. And while you're looking that up, we're going to take a quick break for news, weather, and traffic here on NBC News Radio, KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and of course, my YouTube TV channel, where if you free subscribe and give me the finger, this one, not the other one, you will get an alert every weekday morning for Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Well, she has been dubbed the Asian Oprah, and she just wants all of us to be happy.
Dr. Marissa, aka the Asian Oprah, says the most important thing you can choose is choosing to be happy.
You are tuned into my weekly talk radio TV show called Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa.
That's the idea for Dr. Marissa Pay's new book called 8 Ways to Be Happy.
Many of us say, I am my own worst critic. Nobody's harder on me than I am. And my response to that is, stop it. Why are you doing that to yourself? You have to be your biggest fan, because if you can't at the end of the day say, I did a good job, who is? We don't have to constantly be angry at the things that are wrong. Why don't we choose to be happy about things that are right? We have the choice. That's our muscle. And life is so amazing if we can see it. And we're back. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here, celebrating 13 forking years, 679 consecutive weeks on the air, on camera, on KCAA, NBC News Radio, home to the Asian Oprah, and #1 talk in the IE. Thank you very much. With my very special guest. She is a champ. She is beautiful inside and out. She has her brand, Laila Ali Lifestyle, which she is doing for her own passion for health, prosperity, peace of mind, being the best that you can be. And she shares it with us. Just find her everywhere. You just use my assistant Google, Laila Ali, but she's got a great website. And she's offering for all of her products today, because it is celebrating me, Asian Oprah. It's Marissa 15 on her shopping cart in her, let's see if we can pull that up real quick, on her website with all of the fabulous things that she has. Spice blends here. So please do go visit and get healthy with her. Welcome back to my studio, Laila Ali. So, go ahead.
I was just saying hi.
Yeah, speaking of you being, I didn't realize you had that series on, and I apologize for that. I don't have a TV, actually, for the last 10 years. I'm on TV, but I don't have a TV because I also have 8 jobs like you. And so that leads to, and did you know that the Asian Oprah actually came from our big brother introducing me to Oprah as the Asian Oprah? I don't know if you knew that.
I don't think so. No.
Yes, that's why I wanted to tell you, because a lot of people think that I made that up. I did not make that up. In fact, when I got an award in 2016, Asian Heritage Award, they brought me up and had a banner that said Asian Oprah. And I went, whoa, 2 big shoes to step into. And then when Oprah came to Agape, Michael walked her towards me and said to her, this is Asian Oprah. And she looked at me, looked down, looked at me and said, nice pants.
That's funny.
And it took everything for me not to say, do you want them? Jimmy Kimmel says, yeah, you're Asian Oprah and I'm the Puerto Rican Jerry Lewis.
That's funny.
Yeah. So balance, that's the thing a lot of people also want to know. You obviously are a multi-hyphenate on top of professional, personal, wife, mom, doggy mom, all of that. How do you keep the balance?
That's one of the most challenging things in my life, is the balance, right? Just when you think you have the balance, something goes unbalanced over here. Like, oh shoot, you're running over there, you're running back over here, and then something else falls through the cracks. It's really hard for us as women, because we try to be everything to everybody, do everything for everybody. We have a hard time saying no. I'm actually better at saying no, because I've had to do it all my life, right? You imagine with my father being Muhammad Ali, right? But a lot of times people pull on our heartstrings. So they want you to do something, this charity or whatever. Just because you say no doesn't mean you don't care. It's just that you've got to save time for yourself. You got to save time for your family, your own desires, your own wants, your own needs. Because if you're not at your best, how can you be there for everybody else if that's what you want to do? So for me, it really helps to stay centered by writing down my goals, using sticky notes, reminding myself, and just, like you do, waking up in the morning and really centering what is the most important thing that needs to get, when I'm talking about that to-do list, what are the most important things high level that need to get done? Instead of having like this list of 20 things that you never get to and then you feel like a failure because you didn't get it done. So for me, I've had to say, stop trying to do so much, right? Even if it's for myself, I just like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do that, and then I'm like, I did not do all that because something's gonna happen. Just like what happened to me last night. My daughter's tapping on my shoulder at 2:30 in the morning. I already had a long, stressful day, more than usual, and I was just happy to lay my head on that pillow. She's tapping me at 2:30. I'm thinking I'm dreaming, and she's like, Buddy went boo-boo on my carpet. I'm like, oh man. So then I had to literally get up at 2:30 in the morning, go outside, get the carpet shampooer. I didn't even wake my husband up. And I'm doing this. I was up for an hour. So I'm saying, like, I didn't think that was gonna happen, right? But guess what? You keep on moving. Life's fine. Stay positive, and try to just continue doing the best you can and appreciate the small wins. Again, back to just having gratitude for my health. And then when I think like that, I look at the big picture. I'm like, okay, that's life. It's all good. Everything's all right. Just keep moving.
Yeah. Great advice. I use Int'l, INTBOAD. It's not that big of a deal. Like, it seems like a big of a deal, whatever we're going through. But if you think about the thing that you were so pissed offedness about last week, it really wasn't anything.
So why waste your energy on now? We're human. Okay? So anything that you say or I say doesn't mean we have it 100% right all the time. We're still working on it. But the quicker that you can snap out of that, of just that zone of that energy that just gets you upset and tight and hot, like we're just like, flow back right, the better it is. We all go there. It's just how quickly you can come out of it.
Yeah. You were talking about pivot earlier. I think that's a really good word for balance, to stay in that balance for sure. Also, I will say, and I think you'll agree with me, that good relationships are tantamount to good skincare too. Good relationships, that positive attitude about yourself and others is, I believe, the most important thing in life, because we all think, I don't know about you, I used to think if someone pissed me off, I would say, F you, I'm taking my toys away, I can go live on a desert island. But really, you can't. And the thing that I wanted to share with you, because you know how I struggled with my relationship with my tiger mom. And she's now in hospice, and she has Parkinson's, and I was just in Toronto there. And I can say, and I'm just going to try not to get emotional, this is like the first time all that end of the bitterness, like there was still, I had forgiven her, but there was still that little bit there. And I woke up, I don't know what it was. I guess I went with the intent that this was going to be a good visit, and I woke up and it was completely gone. And I cried, and I recorded myself because I'm writing a screenplay called Life by 1,000 Cuts. And originally, I didn't want to do it until she died because it had the raw truth. But now I understand the point of that screenplay is not about outing my mom and all the horrible things she did, but about mother-daughter relationships and the importance of healing that for yourself. And so, I just wanted to tell you that.
Well, that's amazing. I mean, that you have come to that realness for yourself, because I'm sure so many people can relate to that, right?
which is why I want to, that's like the thing I've been talking about. And last fall, I got invited to teach a course at UCLA again, and I called it Leadership, Excellence, and Happiness, because we can all say we're successful on the outside, but inside, if you're still fear of failure, fear of success, self-sabotage, perfectionism, that voice telling you you're still not good enough or you're only as good as your last win, I know we share that one, then you really aren't successful. You aren't happy. You have no personal mastery. So professional is just fake. But I wanted to share that with you.
Well, thanks for sharing that with me.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep you in my prayers in terms of just dealing with all of that. I have similar experience with my mother, and a lot that I went through. I actually wrote about it in my book, Reach, Finding Strength, Spirit, and Personal Power, because I went through a lot as a kid because I was pretty much abandoned by my mother, and I was acting out. I was angry. So I had this champion warrior in me, but my anger led me down the wrong path, like in a strong way because I was strong, but in the wrong direction, and then I literally went to juvenile hall. Got locked up.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, you didn't? Yeah.
No.
And we're not talking about overnight. 3 months. I was in jail for kids. Yes. And then from that, I had to go to a group home. They didn't let me go home. I had to go live in a home with other girls and I had to graduate the program, which I was told would take a year. And I was like, there's no way I'm gonna be here a year. I got out of there in 6 months, which had never been done before. But part of that is what made me who I am. So people would assume, you grew up with a silver spoon in your mouth. They don't realize I was trying to get into the ghetto when everybody was trying to get out, because I was looking for realness and to get away from the people who knew me, right? And what I thought at the time was the negative side, all the people with the wealth and the other families. And I wanted to find people who knew me for me. So I got myself into some trouble and I learned a lot from it, but it's made me a well-rounded person. And that's why I wrote a book. But I also, what my point was, I had to tell part of my mother's story that she wasn't going to be happy about. And I was very careful about how I told it. But it could have been so much more. But I was saving because, her, right? So that's why I can relate to what you're saying.
Wow. I had no clue. Because all I've heard is because she was a lover of our big brother, Michael. And so that's all I ever heard.
Yeah,
so thank you for sharing that. And I do think that it is something that everyone struggles with that has a mom, especially that mother-daughter relationship, which is why I think that my UPS man, my universal power source, that's my name for God, who delivers.
You and these names, I love it.
Well, you know where I get that from. Michael, right? Making up words, the dictionary according to Beckwith. But I just wanted to say I have a wonderful captain of my cashew gallery who's been putting comments on, who is here. More music. Thanks for joining us. See, roller coaster relationship. And I think that if it's not one thing, it's your mother. And there's only 2 times in life you don't have mother issues, is when you're born and when you die. There, I think that's my routine tonight. But so it's the next area. 8 Ways to Happiness. That's my fundamental. It went national bestseller. I didn't know. I don't know if I told you that. Remember this one?
I didn't know.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised.
And in addition to #1 Amazon, they're selling it at Walmart and Target.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Who knew? So, that's the one thing I'm mad at my publisher about, because you had invited me on your show and the book had not yet come out and they said, wait, and then you stopped doing your show. So I'm going to.
You'll have so many more opportunities, but yeah, definitely. Once we get off, send that to me. I'll post it. I'll do that. I love supporting. You've supported me, right? And I'm sure there's so much information in there, and there's more. As long as we can help each other, let's do it. But Mother's Day is coming up. We're talking about mothers. We're moms, and what I'll say is that what we don't want to do is we don't want to repeat the cycle, and we don't want to create another cycle that's not good either. In reaction to what happened to us. So for me, I tend to be overcompensating, okay, a lot of the times, which can also create a crutch for my daughter. So I had to be careful because I had to do so much myself and I couldn't depend on anyone to be there for me. I have this attitude even now, like I'll just do it. I'll do it. I'm not going to ask for help because I want it to get done. I want it to get done right. And I'm pretty particular. I'm a little OCD and ADD. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just do it. But you can't do everything by yourself. You'll burn yourself out. And I can't do everything for my daughter or she's not going to learn to do it for herself. I want her to have some of the resilience and some of the discipline and the grit that I had. So if I keep making her life too easy, that's not going to help either. So I have to watch myself. So what are the things, if we're like, no, I'm not like my mother. Okay, you might not be, but what are you like? What are you doing that might, your daughter's going to be growing up talking about you, you know what I mean? And what she wishes her mother did different. So I always look at that. And, you know, the most important thing of being a mom for me is letting my daughter know I love her exactly the way that she is, that I prayed to God for her and a daughter just like her, and that's what I got. And I love you unconditionally. All I want you to do is do your best, have good intentions, be kind, be a leader. You know, I don't put pressure on her, oh, you have to get straight A's. You know, it's like, did you do your best? Did you study? Okay. You know, mommy loves you regardless. So I want her to have that confidence and to know that if someone hurts her or if somebody makes her feel uncomfortable, I'm there for her. Like, you come to me, you tell me, I'm going to take care of it. I want her to feel safe and grounded. And those are things that I didn't have. So, you know, and pray that I'm not going to be too much of a hover mom because I kind of am. So.
Beautiful. Thank you for being so real. And I think that that's one of the gifts that I have in this show is because my interviews are conversational, always have been. My goal is these people that you know, are in the limelight, they're human and they have the same things that we do and they have a way and they have, you know, 88% successful, 12% of the time it may not work, but by sharing your vulnerabilities and what you go through, it's beautiful. So I so appreciate. I know you have to take Buddy to the vet because of the shampoo last night. So I'm not going to make you late for that. But once again, I'm going to give you Dr. Marissa's Beneficial Presence on the Planet Award for the work that you do, but most important because of who you are. And I'm so grateful that I get to call you 3-time guest, but most important, a friend. Thank you, Laila Ali.
I appreciate it.
I love you and can't wait to see you in person again. But in the meantime, grateful for technology that we can do this.
Yep, absolutely. And congratulations again for your 13th year. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Thank you for supporting Dr. Marissa. I always like to say we vote with our dollars. We vote with our time, what we're paying attention to. And we need to be paying attention to more positivity because there's so much negativity going on. So we've got to keep shining that light. So just being here today, if it made you feel good, if it sparked something in you, some light inside of you, then that's amazing. So thank you for having me on and allowing me to be a part of your celebration.
Yeah.
Geisha. It is a geisha, okay? That's what it is.
Okay, so that's a Japanese tool.
Yes.
You know, so we'll look into that. Do you mind doing this? You know my drill. It's all about balance. Peace in, peace out. World peace through inner peace.
I love it.
I love
Thank
you.
you. Love you guys.
Love you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. She is truly one of a kind, wonderful, and I'm so blessed and grateful to have her, not just as a guest to celebrate my 13 years, but certainly as a friend. And she's amazing. She's one of the most real, you know, we put people on the pedestal and we think, you know, she's definitely has the resume of a champ in every word and is a heavy hitter, literally. But she's just, she's real. And I love that about her. And we certainly do share a love for my big brother, Reverend Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith, who is the one who introduced me to Oprah and is also the one who, I call him my big brother. The same reason she does is that he holds us, or I'll text him and say, cover me, I'm going through this or whatever. And he's got me, that person you can fall back on, as well as he saw the best in me even before I could see the best in me. And that's why he is my big brother. And that's why, the show and the book and all the great things that have happened to me is a direct result of not following a cult, or, he's not my, what do people follow, shamans or whatever. He's not like that at all. It is a relationship where, someone really wants the best for you, but is not going to give it to you, so to speak. Just like Laila was talking about Muhammad Ali, her father, doing things, I think she shared before, like, he wasn't thrilled about her wanting to box, or her mother. And so it's a kind of, I hope that you all have that kind of relationship. And if you don't, and you're feeling pretty alone and isolated, I would really hope for you that this year, this my 13th year, and this whatever your year is a one where you can start with yourself, and as simple as the gratitude sandwich every day, make that a habit, so that you're looking for things that are good around you instead of tuning into the news and the headlines that make you say what's wrong with people, or the world is going to hell in a handbasket. Instead of MS scrolling, looking at the headlines, just look at the things that are good in your life. There's a lot of good. If you have a roof over your head and food in the fridge and a bed that's yummy and comfy, that's a lot that not everybody has. And then at the end of the night, before you go to bed, have I done the best that I can with the time that I have and the resources I have? And if you can say yes, and you have to say yes, because we all do the best that we can with the time that we have and the resources, then that is what we celebrate. And quit beating yourself up. Quit trying to find fault with yourself and others. Claim your birthright to happiness 88% of the time. And, because I want you to be happy. I want you to claim that birthright. I want you to know how loving, lovable, and loved you are. Thanks so much for joining me for one more celebration of 13 years with the incredible Laila Ali. It's all about balance. Oh, tomorrow we have Straight Talk. And not only do we have Straight Talk with James Hawthorne, we also are bringing on back into studio, because I will be working for her on Saturday. Those of you who don't live too far from Rossmore, California, which is right next to Seal Beach, where I raised my children, Southern California, please come to the Wellness Festival at the Rush Park in Rossmore. And it's on Eventbrite. Just put in Wellness Fest, day before Mother's Day, which is Saturday. I'll be there on stage at noon doing my balanced Tai Chi Gong, a moving meditation that promotes inner peace one breath at a time. Would love you to join me. It's a free festival, but hear more about it. Come back tomorrow morning. Jamie will be here to talk about that. I think we did this already. Oh, yes. Now go and have the best day ever. I'll see you tomorrow.